to Knit Together with Kim and Jonna. I'm Kim.
And I'm Jonna.
And here we are back at Pick Up Every Stitch, our favorite place. And wow, so much has happened. We were just mentioning before we turned on the camera that we haven't seen each other in a week and a half since the last time we made a video.
I know.
But anyway, it's beautiful, sunny here in New York, and spring has definitely sprung. Like, we even had some 90-degree...
You guys had a heat wave. I was in Texas. And it was warm the day I got there.
Yeah, do you want to tell everyone why you didn't have to go back to Texas? Why you wanted to go back to Texas?
And then, the cold front that we got here, we got there first. So it's actually chilly. And I didn't bring the right clothes, but whatever. My granddaughter Eleanor, who I made the quilt for, was her dance recital. But I actually went because she broke her arm. I thought I'd go to help out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's fine. She'll heal well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she broke both bones in her wrist. So she has a little pink cast.
And she had it for her dance recital.
Yeah.
She looked so adorable.
Yeah, it was, and she did everything.
Yeah.
Like, no trouble. So,
wow.
It was
super grandma.
I was really glad that I was able to be there for the dance recital and spend the weekend with them. So, yeah, it was fun.
That's so fun.
I learned how to purl without looking in church.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I felt a little self-conscious. So do you knit in church? Places you can knit. Where can you knit? I don't know. I felt super self-conscious. I was like, how about if you go to church in Norway? Is everyone knitting?
Yeah, I went to a special women's program through the church we're attending now, and that was in April, I think, and that's when I taught myself to knit without looking.
Yeah.
So that I could really pay attention to the speakers and everything and not have my head down the whole time. So I'm so
so
glad I did now, because I'm watching Seaside Hotel, which you told me about a while ago, and it has subtitles. I haven't watched anything with subtitles because it's originally in Danish, right? And so I've been watching that, but I can totally watch it and knit at the same time when I'm knitting stockinette stitch, especially in the round. I haven't really mastered purling yet.
That's funny because purling I found easier than stockinette.
Oh gosh,
than the knit stitch.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just dropped a stitch though. So.
Oh darn. But one thing I realized watching it is that, have I talked about this already? I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. But I'm realizing that Danish is very similar to German. Like the subtitles, maybe because they can't have that many words on the screen or you can't read it as fast, they leave out a bunch of words. But I'm realizing I understand what they're saying, of course with the reinforcement of the subtitles. But like one time they said, I'll go down and get it. But I think what she really said in Danish was, I'll go down to the cellar and get it. Because there were just extra words. But anyway, it's been really fun. I like that show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah. So, anyway, I've been crazy busy.
Yeah, you have been.
I was just thinking back before we turned on the camera, because I've mentioned that I sing, and in this every December and May I sing with a German choir in New York City with the Liederkranz Club of New York, and this year was their 175th anniversary. And so I sang with them on May 14th. And leading up to it, we had double rehearsals. The 2 weeks leading up to it, I went to the city twice a week for rehearsal. And yeah, so that's one reason. And besides that, learning the music at home, I would learn the music and have extra voice lessons. So I felt like I never was knitting, and I didn't see you very much. And then also, we have tons of family birthdays in May.
In May, that's right.
My daughter's birthday, not Elena, the one we talk about more because she's here. Sorry, Jenny. But Jenny, who lives in Connecticut, her birthday is May 20th. And then...
Which is my mom's birthday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I always forget that. And then her and her husband's anniversary is May 22nd. And
that's Emily and Jared's anniversary.
This is
the conversation we had when we first met.
The first time we spoke. Yeah. All these coincidences. I mean, it goes even...
Yeah, and her daughter's name is Elena, and my middle child's middle name is Elena, spelled the same way, which is unusual. 3
kids. You had girl, girl, boy. I have boy, girl, girl.
Yeah.
Like so many things.
So many things. Which is funny because we're such different knitters. So I thought we'd do an episode. I'm actually really looking forward to it, how we do things differently.
Yeah, we really do.
And how there's lots of ways to knit. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Right down to our stash, how we stash.
Yeah, totally.
I want to do an episode. I think I mentioned this to you. I want to do maybe in August, as the knit along is ending, about what I'm going to knit in the fall. I want to show all of my sweaters quantities of yarn and their matching patterns and have the viewers decide what I should knit.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Really fun.
I have a lot. I have things I bought even before COVID here at Pick Up Every Stitch.
And things I bought you.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And Jonna was saying, because my birthday is
Tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, you'll be saying this on June 3rd.
Her birthday's May 26th.
Right.
Which is tomorrow.
But tomorrow is actually my birthday.
Yeah.
And so Jonna was saying, like, I didn't get you anything yet. And I said, but I still have 2 quantities of yarn.
Right.
Plus a gift certificate.
Right. So I'm not going to get
She got me. I don't need yarn. But anyway, and then Isaiah's birthday, my grandson, is the 23rd, and then my birthday is the 26th. I can't even say my own birthday. So May is really busy for us. And so I just feel like it's, once May is done, June calms down. So I'm happy for the knit along.
Well, and we had the mYak live.
We had extra things, right? We had extra meetings with Paula and extra mYak videos that not mYak, the mYak live, and then meetings, different things that we did.
Can I just say that I was just so happy not to pass out and fall off that chair during the live. I'm pretty sure my glasses I was sweating so much that my glasses were sliding down my face. All I wanted to do was take that shawl off. And at one point, I'm pretty sure I was straddling 2 chairs. I wasn't actually, my rear end was actually not on a chair.
When Karen came in to show her Viola.
And my husband was like, oh yeah, I think I saw you. And he said, you kept moving your hair, so I knew how hot you were. Oh my goodness.
I just watched. We got through it. One of my very favorite sweaters ever. It's actually going to be my favorite thing today, but that's what I was wearing, and it's not a summer sweater.
No.
It's with mohair, and I could just feel the flush going up. My face is so red. I felt like steam was coming out my ears. But yeah, so that's my crazy busy May. I'll be happy when I think even just after filming this, then it's my birthday weekend. My birthday weekend, well, usually Mother's Day weekend, I clean out my flower gardens. I don't vegetable garden, I flower garden. We don't have enough sun in our yard at all for vegetables. Sure. So I have to do, I have a little tiny patch of sun, so kind of part shade flowers. Lots of ferns, lots of moss. But usually Mother's Day weekend, I tell my whole family, it's Mother's Day weekend. I'm gardening the whole weekend. So I pull out all the old stuff and just get ready for planting. But this year, it was horrible weather. It was cold, and I think Mother's Day was rainy. I don't even remember, but I didn't do anything in the garden. And so then normally Memorial Day weekend here in the United States, it's a holiday weekend. Monday we have off. And normally Memorial Day weekend, the entire weekend, I plant flowers. So this year, I already told my husband, he said, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, flowers. So Saturday morning we'll go. And this will all be done, of course, by the time you see this video. But we're going to go buy flowers, and then I'll have to do a combination of clean and plant. Although my daughter Elena, when was that? She's here, so I'm going to ask her. When did you clean out my gardens? Was it the fall? Yeah, I think it was. I think it was the fall. So they're actually not that bad. But anyway, so that's my plan coming up. But once this video is done. And then, I have my whole birthday weekend, so that'll be so fun.
Nice.
And what about you? Are you gardening?
Yeah. We do vegetable gardening. My dad, we planted asparagus this year. I said, wow, we're optimistic. I don't think you get asparagus for like the first 2 years, but we have 2 tiny, when I say tiny, I mean like they must be 1/8 of an inch.
Stalks?
In diameter. 2 stalks of asparagus.
Already?
Which he tells me they're the male asparagus because the female asparagus is like fronds. Yeah. So we have 2 little asparagi. No, I don't know what
the visual of the male asparagus. Like, okay.
Oh my goodness. They're very, very tiny. So we have strawberries.
Now I'm not going to be able to stop laughing. Okay. So
herbs, tomatoes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, greens and stuff.
Yeah, she has beautiful raised beds. I'm still laughing. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That my son-in-law built for us.
Yeah, her son-in-law, Marcus, built these beautiful raised beds for her. And I'm very envious of those, but we live on a hill. We don't even have flat property, so I can't do anything like that. My kids never, who cares? But they never had a trampoline or any, a play set in the yard because there's not a flat spot in the entire yard.
Not in your
yard. A teeny tiny little 2 squares right in front of the front door.
Then it drops off.
Yeah, the original owner, I guess, put in these retaining walls, so that's where my only sun gardens are, in these 2 little flat spots. So sometimes I'll put tents out there, and the kids, or the grandkids at this point, will camp in the front, literally right in front of the front door. It's the only flat spot in the whole property. But anyway, your raised beds are gorgeous.
Oh, thanks.
I love them.
They're great. So speaking of my yard, so if you follow the wildlife in my yard, so we have a fox, we have a groundhog. Of course, we have lots of chipmunks and, squirrels and whatnot. But I get an email from the neighborhood association saying that there was a baby bear walking down the street, which I did not see, which I'm glad I did not see, because I wasn't sure what the whole bear etiquette was. Like, do you freeze? Do you run? Do you hide behind a tree? Like, I don't know.
You better look it up, because where there's a baby bear, there's probably
a mama bear there.
Exactly. But I think I've heard and read that they are usually just passing through. They don't stay in our area. They're usually just moving along. So and it's amazing how fast
going
they
where
move.
To Terrytown? Going to Coffee Labs, get a coffee.
Maybe to the Bear Mountain Bridge.
Yeah, right. Wrong direction.
See what I did there? The Bear Mountain Bridge. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I haven't even noticed wildlife outside. I guess I just haven't even been paying attention. It's just been so busy. It's been too busy.
Yeah.
Every time May is always busy, and I just think, am I doing too much? But I love singing with this German choir. I love singing in German. Period. I just love it. All the old German lieder. Love it. Oh my goodness.
And that's where you and I are different too. It's like if I have one obligation during the week, I'm like, oh, okay, that's enough. That's as much as I can handle.
Yeah. No. Super fun. Yeah. So I guess we can get on to all of the news and everything. I guess the first thing we should talk about is the KAL before we move along.
Oh, yeah. So we are having a KAL with mYak.
Woohoo!
mYak Yarn, Tibetan Fiber Company, and Isabell Kraemer. They asked us if we wanted to collaborate on something, and we came up with a KAL idea. And we both chose the Dingley Dell, which is a pattern by Isabell Kraemer. It's a V-neck, short sleeve, striped. It doesn't have to be striped, but the pattern
is striped.
What is it called?
Yeah.
The thing in the pattern.
The picture and all this.
The picture.
Yeah, the picture is striped.
Okay, it's so warm in here. My brain is melting. So in Pick Up Every Stitch, you can't see, but the whole store is windows, and the sun sets in the west, and this is west facing. So we get a lot of sun in here during the summer. So yeah, so knit along with mYak and Isabell Kraemer. That said, the name of our podcast is Knit Together with Kim and Jonna, so we just want to knit together. So no rules, basically. You can knit anything. You can knit a pattern not by Isabell Kraemer. You can not use mYak yarn. I mean, of course, we'd love it if you did, but we've had such a great response.
Yes.
And our Ravelry group is just going gangbusters.
I'm sorry I haven't really been on there. Again, May is crazy. I promise. I've been liking everything, but I haven't really commented. But I will get active. I promise.
Well, thankfully, Beth, who works here,
oh my
who's
goodness,
Craftivist.
Yes,
Craftivist. Craft NY?
Craft NY on Ravelry.
Yeah, on Ravelry. And
Paula
from mYak does a lot of commenting and responding to questions and things. And Amy, who was the moderator on our mYak Live.
Yes, she was the tech person on the mYak Live.
The tech person who put up the photos and things. So.
She's Paula's assistant.
Yeah, so it's going great. And we have a hashtag. The live with Paula was recorded, and that's on her channel. mYak Tibetan Fibers.
I'll put a link.
YouTube.
Okay. Now I can do this. Because I figured I learned how to do it, but which side is it on?
Art and Carlos are always... I think it's over here.
If you're looking at it, it is?
I think it's over here.
But if you're looking at it this way, that's the left side, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Is
anyway, so I think
okay.
I think it's up here.
It's that way.
So that'll be the link to our first mYak Live we did, but we're going to do another one for our cast-on party.
Yeah.
Did you say that already?
So... we originally were going to cast on June 1st, but there was a conflict. You are welcome to cast on June 1st.
Yes.
It goes, the knit along goes to August 31st. You can join the KAL at any time during...
It's 3 months. There's plenty of time
during
to knit.
the summer. And like we said, you can use any yarn. So we are having our cast-on party on June 2nd.
June 2nd.
Yeah, here at Pick Up Every Stitch.
Yes.
And we've invited some special guests. Do you want to say who they are?
It'll be us, of course, and Felicia and Karen and any other employees from Pick Up Every Stitch who can attend. And we're also going to have the knitting posse here.
Yay!
Woohoo! We haven't seen them since the mYak event.
Right.
That was the last time we saw them in person. And then we also just invited Kristen from Wool & Vine. And I was actually asking you, and I don't know if you answered. I was thinking in the camera shot of us, we could just have Kristen between us.
Sure.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Is that okay?
Is that okay?
Let us know.
Anyway, and we're trying to figure out the logistics of will everybody have their own laptop so that we can also have them on the screen. And we also actually heard a rumor that we might even have Isabell Kraemer on with us for a little. It's a weird time in Germany at that time of day, so we'll see if she can join us. But it'll be really fun. So
So we've done our gauge swatches. We're ready to cast on.
Yes.
Except I have a project to finish.
And again, it'll probably be recorded, so then you can watch it at a later date. We're considering trying that premiere thing. So if you know what that is, basically we record it, we do it live, and we record it. But then when we upload it, it's called a premiere, and then at that specific time, then all of us who are available will be watching it while you watch it, and we'll be in the chat, live chatting with you.
Which I would really like.
That would be fun, right? So we're probably going to do that. Paola just did one with
La Bien-Aimée.
Amy Gilles from La Bien-Aimée, and she really liked that format.
Yes.
That was Amy's idea. So,
and it was a great show. So if you haven't watched that,
I watched it live when it was happening, and then you watched.
I watched it recorded. I watched.
You watched the premiere.
Yeah, I was in an airplane and flying over Texas.
Anyway, so we're going to have special guests here. We're going to be doing that live cast-on party June 2nd here in Pick Up Every Stitch. One more quick thing before we have to take a little pause here, but we did add memberships. I just want everyone to know the channel is not going to change. If you never look at a membership video, if you never click on the join button, if you never even, nothing's going to change. We're still doing an episode once a month and also minisodes. Those are all going to stay the same. You don't have to be a member to view them. However, YouTube offers this membership option, and so we thought we would just give it a try. It helps us to what's it called? Engage with our viewers a little bit more. So there's 3 levels. You can watch the videos to see. The knit ones get a membership badge and then these custom emojis that Jonna made. They're really cute. That you can use in the chat and in comments, I think. And
I tried to use the custom emojis and couldn't. So
you're not a member.
I guess I'm not a member. I can't use my own emojis.
The Pearl 2 level gets member shoutouts, photo and status updates, and exclusive members only videos. And we did film a 15-minute video that we put in the members only thing. I think there are 5 views now. We have maybe 15 members, and there's 5 views. So members, don't forget to check those out.
Right.
And then the Cable 3 level will connect with you on social media. Again, I still don't know how that works. I don't know if you request to connect with us. We'll figure that out. And then early access to new videos. And what that means is, for instance, this video, usually they air the first Friday of the month. Then I'll release it on Thursday at 10 a.m. But anyway, so that's it. I think we should take a little break.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we're back. And before anybody asks what I'm knitting, we're going to talk about what we're wearing. But I don't have anything with me to knit. I just finished this that I'm wearing, but Jonna's going to talk about hers first. And I came here with nothing, so they gave me a store sample to knit on. I already warned them that I'm a really tight knitter, so I'll try to knit loose. I've also never used these mini. This is what you use, right?
Small circulars.
So, so what is this thing?
It's called Clifton.
It's called Clifton by?
Oh, good question.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
The yarn is so soft. And
It's that one in that cubby right there.
maybe I'll stuff it in my bag when I'm leaving. Anyway, so Jonna, what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Floodlight tee by Tana's Ravelry.
It's beautiful.
And it was just kind of a cast on a whim, and I went through Stash and found, this is actually Rowan Kid Silk Haze and Pearl, which is in my No Frills pullover. So I had that, and this is Footsie by Wool and Vine Yarns, Kristen Lair, the Kristen Lair YouTube channel. And I had one skein, and the pattern called for one skein of fingering, and I ran out of yarn. So
wow,
yeah,
and you're tiny.
I made this small, and so I finished it with a little bit of the mohair, and I think it looks fine.
I like it.
I think it looks intentional, so I was really happy with it. And I the pattern suggests that you knit it about 4 inches longer, which I'm kind of short-waisted, so it turned out to be fine. But I didn't have anything like this in my wardrobe, you know, like a wool t-shirt, because everyone needs a wool t-shirt. Right?
Exactly.
Actually, today was a great day to wear it. It was cool, and it was sunny, and it's spring, so yeah, I'm really happy with it. Let's see. So you start at the neckline, and you just cast on, and you knit back and forth until there's a little keyhole in the back. And so you knit back and forth until that keyhole is formed, and then you join in the round.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you alternate the yarns, and I actually carried them up the back of the sweater. So I didn't cut yarn and weave it in.
Okay.
I just carried them up the back. So there's only like 4 rows, I think.
So 4 rows of mohair, 4 rows of main color.
And I was kind of curious why she chose to do these make one backwards loop make ones. But I thought I should follow the pattern. You know, I'm a new knitter. I want to stop using that
You're
excuse.
a new knitter. Did she just say that?
New-ish. Well, I always trust the pattern, and I think, well, there must be a method to the madness. And there is a little bit of a design. You can kind of see some small holes where the increases are. But if I had to do it again, I might experiment with a different increase. And you could really do a yarn over and make a really big increase, and that would be cool.
It would be interesting to ask designers why did you choose that, you know, that increase, or why did you choose that cast on, or why, you know. But of course, if I was standing in front of the designer, I wouldn't think of it in that moment.
I really loved the yarn. This is the Footsie base, which I've actually used to make socks. It's 80% Blueface Luster and 20% nylon, and it's just a great woolly base without feeling like superwash.
So you finished it with mohair, but the sleeves were supposed to be finished with mohair, is that
right?
correct?
And so when you're all done, you pick up stitches around the neck and do an applied I-cord, and then knit the I-cord ties that are hanging down the back of my neck, and then you finish the sleeves with an applied I-cord, which went pretty fast. So yeah, it was a pretty quick knit. I think I knit it pretty quickly. Let me see if there's anything else
really
I wanted
beautiful.
to say. No, yeah.
Nice.
So it's a little cropped. I'm wearing it with a skirt.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah. So.
I love it.
Thanks.
Yay. So, what am I wearing? I am wearing my Freya. And I don't even know, is it called Freya T, or is it called Freya? Yeah, it is called Freya T. I have the pattern right here. And I love it. I finished it today. Because I was so busy, I really did not have time to knit at all, and I really wanted to wear it. I could have worn my Yume, which I talked about last time. It was almost finished, but I really wanted to wear this. I was so excited. I wanted to have all the flowers on it, but it was not meant to be. So the last couple of days have been just frantically knitting to finish this Freya tee. It's by Florence Spurling, and I knitted it in mYak KUPA, which of course is 50% baby yak and 50% organic cotton. By the way, I purchased this yarn, or I put it on hold. I can't even remember now. No, I didn't. Let me think. This sample in mYak was here at that mYak event before we even, the thought of a KAL even came up. And there were 2 things that I knew I wanted to knit, this Freya tee, and also the Isabell, which I'm going to talk about later. And I think I've mentioned before here at Pick Up Every Stitch, if it's not in my budget, if it's not in your budget, they hold it in the back so that you have all the correct dye lot number, you have all the yarn you need, and hold it in the back, and then you pay for it when you can. So I think that day I put Isabell yarn in the back. But then spring was coming up, and I was going to do the Isabell, or I am going to do it with mohair, and it's not a spring. I was going to do long sleeve. So I came back another time and could not stop thinking about this Freya tee. The sample isn't here in the shop anymore. It was only here that day. I think it belongs to Paola now. And I think, did Amy knit it? Amy probably knitted it.
I think so.
But I could not stop thinking about it. You know, I drive a flower beetle. I love flowers. I love color. And so I came back another time and I put this mYak KUPA in, this is the color Avalokita. Sorry if I'm butchering that. And I put that in the back, but I took 2 skeins with me so I could swatch. And that's the beginning of my Freya tee. And so all this mYak was already on hold here before we even had the idea of a KAL or a discount, which is so nice. Anyway, so I knitted it, let's see, now I can't remember. You start at the bottom, you cast on with a, what's the other word for an old Norwegian? Or a German twisted? Yeah, German twisted cast on, I think. Now I can't remember. Since I was knitting this morning to try to finish this, I did not write anything down, which drives me nutso. So the cast on, alternating cable cast on. That's what it was. I knew it was a different one, which I liked. I liked that cast on. And it's knitted in the round, up to the armpits, and then of course there's no armpit shelf, which I found interesting. And the little flower baubles. The flower baubles. So I knitted the first repeat of flower. The centers are these little baubles and little eyelets. And I knitted the first ones the way you're supposed to do, well, not the way you're supposed to do a bauble. You can do it any way you want. And they give you 2 options, knit or crochet. And I just wanted to do knit because I don't really know how to crochet. So I did them where these baubles are 3 stitches. So you knit front, back, front of a stitch, and then you turn your work and you purl the 3 stitches, turn it, knit 3 stitches, turn it, purl the 3 stitches, turn it, and then you make the 3 stitches back into 1, and that's your bauble. So I did it that way, turning my work. And it's slow going, I have to say. There's only flower centers on the front, not on the back. So you have side seam markers, and then, yeah, so across the front you do the flower centers, and around the back it's just plain stockinette. So after I finished the first set, I came in here and Beth was here and I was like, Beth, this is taking me so long. I thought this was going to be like a quick summer knit. It's short sleeve. It's going to be so fast.
That's oh my goodness. Knitting too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I used a size 5 needle. I did not use a smaller needle for the ribbing, except for the neck I did. But anyway, so she said, why don't you teach yourself to knit backwards, or some people call it reverse knitting for the baubles. And I posted a little video about it, and that's what I did. And the next time I got to the flower centers, now ultimately I'm a lazy knitter. I've been knitting for over 30 years. What I've done has worked. I don't want to learn anything new. I mean, that's what my head says. I just want to bang it out and have the project. We know that, right? I'm not about the process. I don't want to learn new techniques. I just want the object. So as I was getting ready to start the next set of flower centers, I kept hearing Beth's voice in my head. Why don't you try knitting backwards? So I looked up a quick video. It didn't look too difficult, so that's what I did. And honestly, it was really easy. But then I started to get worried. Oh no, the first set aren't knitted that way, and the second set are. Is it going to look different? It doesn't look different. Okay. I mean, they're flowers. They're all supposed to look different, aren't they? Isn't nature perfectly imperfect? So,
do you remember what video you watched?
I have written it down somewhere. I don't, but I will link it here.
I think Norman from Nimble Needles has a good knitting backwards tutorial.
Yeah, I did not prepare for today, so I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants.
Which is so unlike her.
It is unlike me, but you get what you get, and you don't get upset. Anyway, so that's what I did, and it made it life so much easier. So I knitted it all the way up. So at the underarms, there really is no shelf. You just divide it, and then you just keep knitting. And then, of course, you know me, you're supposed to do the back first. And then when you're doing the back, then you do the back right shoulder first, and then the back left shoulder. And then you do the front, and then you do the front, which way do you knit? Left shoulder for, and you're supposed to do, because after you cast off the front center and the back center. But I like to do it all at the same time. So that's what I did. So I just kept all my stitches on my needle, and I wrote out some notes for myself so I knew what was going on, but I just did the back with the, I can't remember. Oh, there's short rows for the shoulder shaping.
So you knit the front and the back flat.
Flat at the same time. On the same needles.
Okay.
Flat. There was obviously just space between them and new balls of yarn. But I actually barely had any yarn left. The only yarn I have left, I put it here, but now I can't find it. It must have fallen on the ground. I have 2 grams. Don't worry about it. I have 2 grams, this much yarn left. So I only had 2 balls left as I was finishing it. So I did the back with the short rows on this side, and by the time I bound off in the center, then I just used the other end of my ball of yarn for the other side. And then I'm doing neck shaping and short rows. Oh, and you know, the short row says when you get to the end of the row, turn and make a double stitch. They're German short rows. But I wasn't turning. So I would put a marker, and I wouldn't turn. I would put a marker right there, and then I would keep going around to the front, and then of course again I'm doing the short row. So if I hadn't done the short row there, because I didn't turn, then I would get to the marker and then do my double stitch. And then I did all my shaping and then the same thing. So it was a lot of keeping track, but I loved it because when I was done, I was done. I mean, literally I was done. And again, I had to pull from the other end of my ball of yarn, but it was fine. And then when I got to the top, then you have the stitches held on your needles. They're all there, all done at the same time. And then it was a 3 needle, is it called a bind off when you're doing the seam as well? Yeah, you put the, Karen's like, yeah.
Yes.
You put the wrong sides together with your needles pointing to the right, which would be that way if you're looking at me. And then you use a 3rd needle to sew your seam together as you bind off. And it's like literally my favorite. I wish every pattern was like that. It's just so neat.
It's neat on the inside too.
It's neat on the inside. Yeah, I love it. And then I did the neck, and I did go down a needle size for the neck. So I knitted it with a 5, so I went down to a 4 because I noticed it was a pretty wide neck, which I like, but I wanted it to be, you know, not too wide. So I did, the bottom is 9 rows of rib, and I think here they only wanted 4 and here they wanted 5, so I just made a match.
Yeah.
So I did 5 here on the neck. And then I did my little tiny short sleeves. I was running out of yarn, so I weighed my last little bit of yarn. I had 18 grams of yarn to do sleeves. That's all. So I weighed it, and I figured, you know, 9 and 9, but let's play it safe. Let's consider 8 and 8. I would allow myself to use 8 grams. 8 grams for each sleeve. And I was supposed to do, I think when I added it all up, you're supposed to do like decreases in the sleeves and all kinds of things. And I just kept them straight because the sweater is straight also. I didn't really want the sleeves fitted if the sweater is straight. And so I just did it, no decreases. I think ultimately with all the decreases it would have been 42 rows. I just did 20 rows of stockinette and then 5 rows of rib.
And you picked up stitches?
Okay. You picked up stitches all the way around. And I was really, to me, it felt like I was knitting for so long, and I was reading some people's comments in Ravelry. They said, you know, it's kind of long. If you leave out one of the sets of flowers, you know, if you don't want it that long. And I was so worried it would be too long, and I put it on without the sleeves as soon as I got the neck done, and it was perfect.
Oh, good.
Don't you love it when that
love it.
turns out? But it definitely, like, there's points when I think we talked about this in another video, like I love, and sometimes I just really don't, there's things about knitting I don't like. And well, playing this, it wasn't really yarn chicken, but yeah, like worrying about not having enough yarn, that was stressing me out a little bit, but I think it turned out perfectly. And so then, as I mentioned in the France video, I'm going to use my French mohair to make the flowers. But I have another decision to make, and since it's not done, I only did one for today, and it's kind of messy. I didn't even weave in the ends on the back of the flower petals because I don't know if I like how I did it.
She didn't even return my text messages today. So.
I literally sat in my room and knitted all day, all morning. So in the pattern, you're supposed to, like, there's 5 flowers across, and you're supposed to only put petals on every other flower. So in the bottom row, 2, and the next row 3, and the next row 2, and the other flower centers stay blank. But I have this gorgeous mohair from La Droguerie in France. And I think I want to put petals on every flower. Would that be really crazy?
No, I don't think so.
So I think that's what I'm going to do. But here's one. Isn't it gorgeous? And I walked in here and they're like, you could just keep it like that. And you could. Like, it looks beautiful. It looks like I have a little brooch on or something.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
I think all of them are going to be great, though.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I just have to figure out a pattern of how to do it so they're random,
colors,
but
so
not
you
random.
don't want two colors at the same next to each other.
Yeah. But anyway, so I love it, and it's I have to say the first time wearing KUPA, and it's very light and airy. I know you're really warm, but I don't feel that warm.
I'm okay now that I'm not talking.
And it just feels really light. So I'm really happy with it. It fits me perfectly. I'll take pictures once I get all the flowers on, or maybe I'll have Elena take a picture today. I don't know, but I'm really, really happy with it. Now I have another summer top.
That's right.
Yay!
It's beautiful.
So fun.
And how long did it take you to make that?
A long time.
Like all said and done.
I think I had cast it on by our last episode, maybe. Yeah, I think I had, or maybe I had only swatched. So just so you know, the finished, if you want to see how big it is on me, we just measured it. It's 50 inches around, and I'm 40.5, so there's 9.5 inches of positive ease, which is a lot, but I don't feel like I'm swimming in it. But it is a true drop shoulder, so there's absolutely no shaping in the body.
And what size did you make?
I made, oh gosh, that's a good question. I made, sorry, I hate it when I'm flipping through all this stuff. Where is the size thing? I made the 5th size, which I can't find.
Out of how many sizes?
I don't know where it says sizes. I'm sorry, I'm so unprepared. Oh, here. I made the 52. So,
Okay.
oh, that's 52 centimeter. No, that's inches. Yeah. That's what I made.
Yeah.
52 inches, so it was 50. That's perfect.
And it goes up to 68, so.
Yeah. So it's 50. I made it 17 inches long from the underarm, and I only made little 3-inch sleeves, but I think that's basically it. But I really love it. I love Florence's pattern. There was one thing that was a little confusing, so I messaged you and I messaged Karen, and it was simple. I was over, and it's funny when other people are having problems with patterns, I usually say, just trust the pattern, just do what it says. And here I was completely overthinking it and making it seem so much more complicated. But yeah, Karen eventually just said, just do what it says. That's probably what it is. But that's it.
You want to talk about your loose stitches?
My loosey-goosey stitches. Yeah, we're running out of time. We have to take a little break. But did I talk about this before? I feel like, or did I just tell you?
No, in our members only video, I think.
Oh, right, in the members only video, I talked about it. So basically, leading up to each flower center, before those bobbles, the stitches are really loosey-goosey, and then after, they're like perfect. But that's one reason I even thought of putting the petals around every flower center. Now it won't matter.
Right.
The petals will be over it.
Exactly.
You can't even tell.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. Okay. So we're back. I did forget to say one thing. I was going to kind of explain how to make the flower centers. You basically take a crochet hook and you cut a piece of cardboard. Is that a 1/2 inch? 3/4 of an inch?
Oh.
And you wrap the yarn around the cardboard and do a chain, like chain it around and then do an extra chain. And so that's how you make them. So I have my little piece of cardboard here. The reason I'm not too happy with, I don't know if I'm happy with this flower center is because on my swatch, I don't think it tells you what size crochet hook to use. But I used a smaller one for my swatch petals. And then on this one, I used a bigger one because I went up a needle size anyway in the sweater. And I don't know if I like that. So I might take these petals off and start over. And then also, I took out my beautiful colored pencils because I think to decide where I want the flower colors to be, I'm going to draw it with my colored pencils so I can map it out first. So, yeah, I love these colored pencils. I've used them a lot already.
It's kind of like a crocheted provisional cast-on, except the needle is the piece of cardboard.
Oh, you're right.
You know?
You're so smart. But maybe I'm not even doing it right because I have to look at a video on how to do that because what I'm doing is holding my crochet hook above and wrapping around and doing it there. But
It sounds similar to the
yeah, it's
crochet.
exactly what it is.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I'll watch one of those videos because I'm kind of really awkward doing it. Again, I don't crochet. So I'll just put these here. So yeah, that's it. Now I'm really done talking about my Freya. But next time you see it, which maybe I'll wear it for the
cast on.
The cast on party.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll have all its flowers on.
Yeah.
We'll see. But anyway.
That's a good idea.
So we're moving on to finished objects. What have you finished?
Oh my goodness. How did I finish so many things?
I didn't realize you finished so many things.
Okay, so, well, this was just supposed to be a swatch. So I got the bright idea to make this neckerchief, which I absolutely love.
That was going to be your Dingley Dell swatch.
This is going to be my Dingley Dell swatch. So
I still am not confused how it ended up a neckerchief. Swatch, I don't, it doesn't make sense.
I know. It was just ill-conceived. Whatever. I just wanted to make a little neckerchief. And, yeah, I absolutely love it. But it's made out of the mYak, baby yak, and silk. So I thought, so the pattern actually calls for you to knit it on a US 1.5 with lace weight. But I thought, oh, I'll use a skein of the mYak and a size 4 needle so that I can get my gauge and see what that's like for the Dingley Dell and make an object in the, at the same time.
Yeah.
But this is all knit and garter stitch, which I really didn't.
So that's why it's not a swatch. If it was in stockinette, it could have still been a swatch.
Exactly.
I see.
Exactly.
Now it makes sense.
But it's all in garter stitch, which is absolutely beautiful. And then it's got these tiny, we'll put it in a picture, but it's got these tiny slipped stitches that just give it a little bit of texture.
Oh,
and I like to wear a little thing around my neck. I think it makes me look
the picot edge.
put together, and the picot edge. Yeah. So this is the Broderie neckerchief by Karen Fernandez. And let's see. I think that's all I really needed to say about it. You're supposed to do 9 repeats of the pattern, and I only did 8, probably because I just got impatient, which sounds like me. And it's about 29 inches wide, which is, I think, a little bit wider than the pattern schematic. But I wish that I'd done the
But that was
repeat.
supposed to be lace weight and a smaller needle.
Right. So anyway, I love it.
It's really wonderful.
Yeah. And it's so drapey, so soft, and I worn it a ton.
You wore it in another video, and
Yeah.
a lot of people
With
asked
my
about it.
French dress.
Yeah.
So another one from me.
Yes, because I don't have that
Okay.
many finished
Just a quick one.
objects.
Just a quick one. So I had made the Bear in a Fair Isle sweater by Julie Williams, which you talked about in our toy video, for my grandson Max, and my grandson William wanted one, and he's 9. He'll be 10 in about a week. And he really, he was on me. He was like, have you started it? Have you picked out the yarn? I want red overall. So I got on that right away. Made the Bear in a Fair Isle sweater by Julie Williams, who is Little Cotton Rabbits. And she does use a cotton blend for her animals, which makes great sense because there are parts of the pattern where you have to pull on the yarn to cinch things up. And I used Harrisville Designs Highland, which is a woolen spun yarn, which
Breaks.
And so it was a great bear color, and it's really great yarn and fuzzy, but
You couldn't pull.
I broke it one time. I couldn't pull too hard. I had to be very careful. So, oops, I won't do that again.
Yeah.
And I made the little matching red dungarees, also by Julie Williams, and those were a ton of knitting.
But you did the whole thing so fast.
Yeah, I think I just felt like I really wanted to get it in the mail to him.
Yeah.
So I sent him FedEx, and it's supposed to only take 2 or 3 days, and then ended up taking 8 days. I felt terrible.
Goodness.
So I tracked him every day. So yeah, I made the dungarees in red, and they're knit flat, so a lot of purling, but there's little tiny real pockets, and I put
Adorable.
a little note in the pocket. And the construction is super genius, and you stitch them up at the end and sew on little buttons, and the straps crisscross in the back, and they fit perfectly. I was really pleased with them. I used Kelborn Woolens and Dora for the overalls, and we'll put in a picture.
Yeah.
But
Cute
I
pictures.
just went to Texas, as I mentioned, and the overalls have really pilled, super pilly. So she doesn't have a gleaner, so I need to get a gleaner. But I guess that just means he's been well loved. So, and it was cute. They FaceTimed me when he arrived, and I asked William, so what's his name? And he says, Jerry. I was like, oh, okay. I'm just surprised. I was like, where did that come from?
I know.
I think it actually came from Jerry Rice, who's a 49er, a former 49er football player.
Uh-huh. That's funny.
That is my theory of why his name is Jerry. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a cute bear.
Yeah.
I think you were working on that when I was in France.
It's kind of in pieces. You knit his head first, so it's cute. And one of the genius things about that pattern is you put a row of purl stitches where the ears are supposed to go, so you never have to worry, are my ears straight? Are they in the same place?
So
are they symmetrical? So I really like that about this pattern. And then you create the face, so this little bear head is staring at you. Knit the rest of me. Yeah, so he's knit in pieces, which I don't love after being spoiled by Claire Garland's patterns, but it makes an adorable bear, and he's about that big.
So cute.
Yeah, he turned out really well. I was happy with him for sure.
Nice.
So, oh gosh, I think that's it.
Yeah, you do have a lot of finished objects. So I have a couple.
Little ones.
I did finish my Yume. I had almost finished it last time in the last episode. Like literally one little tiny part of a sleeve needed to be finished. But here it is. I've worn it a lot already. I absolutely love it. It's Yume by Isabell Kraemer. Again, complete coincidence. I guess I didn't know we were going to do the KAL, and I didn't know that she would be involved, but I was already knitting it. So it's in Camellia Fiber Company Flax DK, which is 50% alpaca, 25% linen, and 25% silk. Not in the color Midnight, but in Moon Shadow. I had a wrong tag for some reason last time I talked about it. But I've worn it a lot, and obviously I did finish it. I'm not going to talk about it again because I think I talked about it in great detail in episode 6. But as I've been wearing it, there is one thing that I wish I knew how to modify. When I wear it, it doesn't tuck under my arm well. It has this extra fabric right here, although it doesn't have that much positive ease. So if the viewers, I'm sure Karen is over there waiting to tell me how. But I'd like to hear from you too. There were some little short row shaping here, but I felt like it didn't really do anything. But how do you get it to go like from the yoke into your armpit? It didn't really do that for me. I don't know why. But I love it. It's so soft and so beautiful, and it's perfect on a spring, cool summer day.
It's a beautiful yarn.
It is a beautiful yarn. Oh yeah, there's more samples of it here. So many. They just got a whole new order here of all these gorgeous. Are they actually new colors, or do you just?
Combination of both.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
They are.
Reworked colors.
And and it just gets softer and softer and softer the more you handle it, the more you use it. And I absolutely love it. So I highly recommend this yarn. And again, it's worn beautifully. And it just feels lovely against my skin. And I guess that's it. Nothing else to talk about.
And I have another finished object, which I almost forgot about, which is also made in the Camellia Fiber Co. Flax DK, which on the metal needles it just glided just so smoothly. It was really, really a joy to knit with. Not splitty at all. Yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this. So I made another Lazy Daisy crop, and the ends on the inside have not been woven in. I was watching Arn and Carlos sit and knit for a bit this morning while I was doing it. Oops.
Ooh, that scared me. Did it scare you guys? I didn't even realize Pearl was here.
She was passed out until...
so tired from school today.
Oh, so funny. Yeah, Pearl's here, and she just heard a loud noise outside. Hi, Pearl. I really had no idea she was even in the shop. She's so quiet. There she is. She was barking at somebody making noise outside.
No,
So
it wasn't a moose.
No. Your Lazy Daisy top.
Yeah, so this is my second entry into the Thank You Next KAL by Stacy of Stress Knits. And I made this for my daughter Laura, and she's anxious to get it. So I said, no, you can't have it until after episode 7. And I was kind of putting off doing the daisies. But yeah, knit in Camellia Fibers. And I was wearing one of these in episode 6. And it's knit from the bottom up, and you do twisted rib and just knit in the round, knit, until the back. You do a little bit of ribbing while you're knitting the front also. And then you bind off those stitches and do a little bit of decreasing underneath the armpits. And a little bit of garter detail on the front. And some I-cord straps. And I made these straps like an inch shorter than the ones I made because mine slide down my shoulder.
I was going to ask that. So you made this for you and you've worn it. So do the I-cord straps stretch out? Do they hold their shape?
So when I measured them, I actually stretched them out and let the garment hang. So I measured the I-cord straps stretched out as with the weight of the garment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and I made the body about 3 inches longer because she didn't want it as cropped as mine. Yeah. So it's going to be great. It's a beautiful color. I used Crozon, these little mini skeins, Crozon for the flowers. And I kind of hemmed and hawed about the colors of the flowers. But yeah, they're kind of loosey-goosey because I was watching Arne and Carlos and just
they're cute.
Doing my daisies. So yeah.
Again, flowers are perfectly imperfect anyway.
Yes.
They shouldn't look absolutely identical.
Yeah, I think she'll love it. So
she will love it.
Yeah. So I knit 2 of these like back to back.
Nice.
This one took me a little bit longer.
How long does a top like that take you to knit?
I think the first one I knit in a couple days. That one took me about a month because I was doing other things.
Okay. Hi, Pearl.
Like knitting on this.
Sorry those people woke you up. So do you have any other finished objects?
I don't.
Okay, so I have one more little thing, which I already posted about. I don't have it here either. I made another mochi little animal. I made a unicorn for my grandson, and I'll insert pictures of him with his little unicorn. But when I went to France, I brought all my little mochi sets, and because I thought I would knit little mochis for them while I was there, while we were hanging out. And as soon as I got there, I brought the sheep that I had already made, that actually Harper had requested. But as soon as my granddaughter Daphne saw it, she wanted it so badly. So I gave it to her. I'll have to make another one for Harper. And then I laid out all the kits and I asked them which other animal they would like. And my grandson absolutely wanted a unicorn. So the second day, we arrived there on Saturday. Sunday, I just took it out, and I think we were taking the tram somewhere. I just started knitting it, and I had double pointed needles, and I only needed, there's a set of 5, and I only needed 4. So he helped me through the whole thing. His first job was to hold the extra needle. He was so excited to hold this pointy thing. And then when I finished the body, he helped me stuff it. And I think I made the unicorn horn too long, but who cares? You'll see the pictures. And then I did the mane a little differently. It was supposed to be actually sewn on, but I wanted it to be loose. So I used these little, just slip knot. I pulled a loop through and then pulled the ends through. And the same thing for the tail. But it's really cute. He absolutely loves his little unicorn. So that's my only other finished object. But yeah, so we'll move on to, I think that's it, right? Yes. We'll move on to whips, but we'll take a little break.
Okay.
Welcome back again. I like these little breaks. Gives me a chance to clear my brain, although now it's a little too clear. I can't think of anything. So works in progress. Because I casted or bound this off before I came here today.
Moments.
Yes. And my other things I haven't really looked at. My Amina, my socks, and I think Amina's just going to be waiting for the fall now. And my flower blanket. Maybe I'll take my crochet flower blanket on vacation this summer. I don't know.
Did you watch the live with, you watched it with Amy Gio. And so when she was talking about the Amina, she had a great idea. She said she just cuts the yarn and leaves the yarns hanging and untangles them if she needs to. She doesn't use bobbins, but because it's Corey worsted and it's not superwash, she ends up just spit splicing everything together and picking up the yarn, and so she has no ends to weave in. Did you hear that?
Yes, but I've never done that.
I thought that was genius.
You've
never
done
spit
that.
spliced?
Mm-mm.
Oh, but it's easy. You don't even have to spit. I spit generally because I'm too lazy to get up and get some water.
You're sure it's not going to come apart?
No, I'm sure.
I'm so worried it's going to come apart.
Now you undo the plies,
Uh-huh.
a couple inches of the plies on each end,
Uh-huh.
and then you stick the plies together like this.
Huh.
and you get them wet with water or spit, and then you just felt them.
But doesn't that take just as long as weaving in an end?
No, I don't think so.
Well, what I do,
neater.
you know what I do is I just knit the 2 yarns together. And you can't do it if it's 2 different colors. So I couldn't do that with the Amina. But just the same yarn. Were you going to say something, Karen?
It works great. I use it all the time.
Okay, but again, I'm a lazy knitter, and I don't want to try something.
No, this is easier.
It's for lazy knitters because you
Right.
have to weave in ends. Like it's
Right.
beautiful.
I'm afraid.
Don't be.
Okay,
Jump.
someday. Someday I'll do it. Someday I'll spit splice.
I have never had a spit splice come undone.
Wow.
No.
Okay. You're giving me a little more courage to spit slice.
You know, I
Spit
mean, I think
splice.
it's because, you know, I haven't been knitting as long as you have, and so everything is new to me. So, yeah. So I'm not intimidated. I don't know.
I don't know.
All just knitting.
I just think what's been working works. So I don't know. But yeah. So works in progress. What you got?
I have, and I am loving
It's
this.
beautiful. This
It's
is one of those things where you can't see the halo. You can't see
No.
I mean, we'll take pictures, but it's really
It's luscious fabric, huh?
yeah.
So this is the April cardigan by Petite Knit, and I'm definitely on a Petite Knit kick. I saw a beautiful cumulus blouse on Instagram today that has been in my queue for a while. So yeah, I used the Sandus Garn Sunday, which is a collaboration with Petite Knit, in this baby blue eyes colorway, and the corresponding tin silk mohair, also by Sandus Garn, in dark blue sky. And this is non-superwash, only $9 a skein, and this is $13 a skein. I think I'll probably end up using 4 and 4, so it's going to cost me less than $100. And so far, I've been really, really happy with this. With the Sunday yarn. I did use the baby yawl to make some clothes for Max, and I did notice some really thin spots in the yarn and some kind of overspun spots, and I have not had that experience with this yarn at all. It's been fantastic. Really, really like it. Eleanor kept asking me, "Oh, can I help you knit? Can I help you knit?" But it was just
so
a little bit,
sweet.
a little bit fiddly, just because it's fingering with mohair. But yeah, you cast on at the neck and do this saddle shoulder, which I'd never done before, which is really cool. And then you do some increasing on the sleeve, and then you do a little bit of raglan increasing before you split for the sleeves. And I have to say, doing increases on both the right side and the wrong side, like the balloon sweater that I completely frogged, got frustrated. This time it was only about 16 rows, and I was like, okay, 16 rows, you can do this. And I just made sure to make my make ones really loose. So I pulled those stitches kind of long, and I pulled the raglan stitch a little bit long, because otherwise it's just tight in there. So anyway, really, really happy. And I was a little concerned about, so I'm making the small, not a lot of ease. I'm trying to really be careful with the ease these days, because I end up making garments that are much too big, and I think, oh, I like things loose and I like things boxy, but you know, sometimes I want a sweater to fit, and I wanted this to fit. So my gauge is spot on, so I'm really happy about that. What's I going to say? So as you're working the increases for the sleeves, you're also doing increases to make the V neck. So I had to do a little bit of note taking to make sure that I didn't forget those. I did forget an increase, one of the raglan increases, and there was a little hole, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to make one when I'm done, when I divide for the sleeves, but I wasn't happy with that. So I watched a Roxanne Richardson video, and it just clicked and made perfect sense to me. So
you dropped down.
I did.
And you made one where you were supposed to make one.
Which it created another row of stitches. And for some reason I had it in my mind that I would have to make one and then do a regular knit stitch, and then I'd have to make one off of that column, but I was wrong about that. So she explains it in a really super great way. The purl side and the knit side, and you know, this bar has been worked, but this bar hasn't, so it just made perfect sense to me. I did it, and I'm really happy that I did. So it turned out
So in our videos, we're only allowed to insert 5 links. I don't know how many we have so far, but if if we still have a link to
Okay.
use, I'll insert
Otherwise,
that video.
and we'll put it in the show notes.
We'll definitely
anyway.
put it in the show notes. By the way, where are the show notes?
Yeah, they're. You know what? YouTube kind of has a new format.
Really?
So now instead of the little arrow, I think it's 3 dots.
Mm-hmm.
So you click those 3 dots, and then it'll show
That's
you
where the
all
video description is, and that's where we put our show notes.
And we've started to do timestamps,
Mm-hmm.
so people can.
Jonna does that. Jonna
Skip
does all
the-
the show notes and everything
skip
and
the
all the
chit-chat.
timestamps. Yeah.
Yeah. But one funny thing I wanted to mention, let's see. So I'm knitting the small, which is the 38.25 finished bust size, and I'm about a 35, so that's great. Oh, and I said I was worried about it being too small, so I put it on my knitting barber cords and tried it on, and it fits perfectly.
Perfect.
Yes.
I have a question, though.
Yeah. Don't
You've
forget
been
about.
you've been avoiding cardigans because you don't want to purl.
I know.
How's that
This
going?
is a ton of purling.
How's it going?
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite thing to do, but I am practicing doing it without looking. So.
Yeah.
And I dropped a few stitches, and I had to go back and fix them, but it was no big deal. This yarn's pretty sticky, so it's not like they went anywhere.
Yeah.
But, and you'll laugh. So I know what a progress keeper is. Technically, I know what they're used for, but I never felt the need to
I've
use
never
one.
used one either.
But, you know, instead of, so I know I needed to knit this part from the cast on to right above the ribbing, about 16 inches. So I measured, and what I would normally do is I would knit a few rows and then measure, and then knit a few rows
That's what I
and then
do.
measure. No.
You mean there's a different way to do it?
Oh, no. This is a much better way to do it. So I know that this progress keeper is at 13.5 inches.
Wow.
So now I only have to measure, what, the 2.5 inches to 16. I don't have to stretch this out and, you know, lay it on the floor. And,
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I finally found a use for progress keepers.
Wow.
And I have a few that I've never used.
That's so cool.
I thought they were more like you put it on and then you pat yourself on the back for
I thought they were like
X number of inches.
decoration.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought they were
kind of.
decorative.
Yeah.
But no, this is great. So visually also, I don't have to keep measuring because it's much easier for me to visualize 2.5 inches or
Right.
3 inches
Exactly.
than 16 inches.
Yes.
So anyway.
Wow, that's so
Yes,
cool.
genius.
I love that.
I'm glad I learned that. I was going to say that this goes up to a 5XL. I know that Petite Knit kind of she gets a little flack for her pattern top being size inclusive, but it goes up to
I heard she's been changing that, going
Yeah.
back to old patterns as well.
Yeah, so this goes up to a 62.25 inch bust.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's a 5XL. So I'm really excited to finish it. And it's got about 2.5 inches of rib on the bottom. And then you pick up for the button band all the way around. And sleeves.
Nice.
And the original pattern has these beautiful rhinestone buttons. But I think I might do some of those shell buttons I bought in the city. Just to make it a little bit more casual.
Yeah.
Of course, it's in my new favorite color.
It's so beautiful. Yes.
Yeah, it'll go great with my new French dress.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I think that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have to get pictures of all these things.
Yeah.
I was thinking of editing this tonight so I don't have to worry about it on my birthday weekend.
Wow.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So we're going to need these pictures. One thing I wanted to say, one of our viewers in our yarn shop love video, I mentioned that I always buy extra large, and I was talking about one size fits all, and one of the viewers says, and I mentioned that I'm typically a size 10 or 12, and they said, that is not an extra large. And I wrote back, I said, in the U.S. clothing market, clothes run so, I find they just run so small. If I try on a 10 or 12, they fit, but if I try on a large, they're often too tight. I don't know why. Just the way they run.
There's no consistency.
There's no consistency whatsoever. No. So just so I don't, I already said I hate shopping, so just so I don't have a really mortifying shopping experience, I usually just grab an extra large. I don't want my clothes to be tight anyway. I just don't wear tight clothes. And I start with extra large and I go from there. It usually will at least fit, and then if I can go down, I'll go down, and then I'll wear a large. Yay! But that's just what I do. So yeah, thanks for that comment. But
Speaking of comments, we mentioned in the last video, or you said we should have a KAL and knit sweaters for our husbands.
yes.
And we got tons of great ideas.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So I feel like there is a sweater in his future.
Yes, with a tighter neckline.
Yeah.
A raglan.
Yes.
I just find it so interesting that he knew what he wanted, that he knew what a raglan was. My husband wouldn't even know what that is, and that he knew he wanted a tighter neckline.
I don't know that he knew what it was called, but I think he would just point to it. I want that style.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so several patterns by Maxims here and some other ones that I'll make a list and we'll talk about it. We thought about doing a fall KAL for the men in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So I've never really made a male.
We could even just do it. A gift sweater KAL, and it could be used for anybody you want to gift to. But we'll gift it to our hubbies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to make, well, I'm not going to talk about it. This video will be so long if I talk about it. So as far as works in progress for me, I don't have any. But my next thing to cast on, well, actually, one thing I wanted to do just for myself, I have 2 sweater quantities of yarn at home to make a ranunculus for myself. I want to make a short sleeve one, which I want to make a short sleeve one. And what's it called now? I can't remember. Why can't I remember the German podcast now? What are they called?
I'm the wrong person to ask. It's in German.
But Marion and Ronnie are working together and doing a ranunculus KAL starting tomorrow on my birthday. They're having a cast-on thing. And so before I start our KAL, I want to do it. You think I can finish a ranunculus in a week?
Yes, I do.
On my birthday weekend when I'm gardening?
I think you can.
I'll just have another whip. But I really want to do it, so I might just do that. But I did swatch for my Dingley Dow, so that's going to be my work in progress. I'm calling it my work in progress with my gorgeous mYak silk and baby yak. I love it. And I actually bought yarn. I'll talk about that later. So that's it. That's my work in progress. I don't have a work in progress.
Yeah. Like
except
me in our last
this
episode.
shop sample that I'm doing. What's it called again? This beautiful sweater?
The Clifton Crop by Emma Coates.
The Clifton Crop by Emma Coates.
Yeah.
How are you liking those tiny needles?
I don't mind them, and I'm purposely really trying to knit
Loosely.
as loose. Look, you can't even see the difference.
Oh, nice.
I'm doing well at matching the gauge. They won't have to rip it out. Yes! I hope one arm, I'm just knitting and knitting. I hope this sleeve isn't like miles long down to your knees and the other sleeve. But yeah, so next thing we're going to talk about is favorite things. Do you have a favorite thing?
I don't.
Okay, well, I'll talk about my favorite thing. That's what I was going to talk about.
My
anyway.
favorite thing is still the tulip Guernsey.
Mm-hmm.
I think about it almost every day.
Then you have to knit it.
I know.
It's a summer top, right?
It is. And I was waiting for the Camellia Fibers Flax DK to come back in stock.
Oh, okay. Well, it is. There you go.
So now I just can't decide on a color because they're all so beautiful.
Okay, so since I don't even know, Felicia, when did you make the Sabella?
I might say it was February. It was for test knit for Isabell Kraemer.
I wore this for our mYak live event, and this has been up on a mannequin up above ever since Felicia made it, and I have been eyeing it since February. I guess I noticed it. I'm a sample person. I've mentioned that a lot. I must have noticed it the minute she put it out and wanted to knit it. It's beautiful. She knitted it in, what did you knit it in?
KUPA and
Mohair. KUPA and mohair. Oh yeah, we talked about this in our mYak live event. And so actually the day of the mYak event here, I did put yarn on hold in the back. And then recently I bought it because I figured I knit pretty fast. So for our KAL, I can at least do 2 garments. And there was, of course, the mYak discount still.
Right.
So I am going to knit this. I love it. I think it's so beautiful. So I'm going to knit it in green and blue, which is Didi or DT, and Yumtso. And then I'm going to hold mohair with it like Felicia did. I love it. It'll definitely be a fall sweater though. It's not going to be anything I'll wear in the summer. The blue matches Le Petite Silken Mohair, which Jonna has used a lot.
Oh, Biche Bouche.
Yeah, Biche Bouche. And the green is Isair Silk Mohair. So
It's gorgeous.
There we go.
Colors.
yeah,
I love this.
It's going to be. So now I'm going to have 2 striped sweaters. But I do want to, I think I mentioned this in the mYak live event. Felicia added she didn't change her yarn color, but over her blue or gray, whatever that is, she added a black mohair around the neck and then around the bottom and also the sleeves. And so I think I'm going to do that. Or she added a brown. I think it was a brown. So I think I'm going to add just around those little accent points, a different color mohair.
Felicia, did you change colors mohair or did you use the same color mohair throughout?
I changed the color of the mohair.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful sweater. I love it in it. And just, again, the halo. I don't know if you can really adequately see the halo in pictures, and we take pictures, but it's lovely. It's really beautiful, and it's so soft. And I was warm that night, but it's beautiful. So that's my favorite thing is Sabella, and it has been for a while. I'll probably knit it. Then when I finish my Dingley Dell, I'll probably knit that.
I would love to make the Fiola. Yeah,
a lot of people have mentioned the Fiola. Karen finished hers right before the mYak Live event.
And that's what Kristen from Bull and Vine Yarns, Kristen Lehrer, is casting on for the KAL.
Wow. She's using a mauve or mustard. Right.
In the mYak lace and holding it double, I think.
Right. I watched her most recent episode. Yeah.
The one that Karen wore in our live.
Yeah. Beautiful sweater. You don't have that one here, do you? Your Fiola?
I do.
She's going to bring it over here so we can show you. But it has a little tiny bit of lace work right here, like a little triangle.
And on the sleeves too?
Here, she's going to hand it to you right now.
Thank you.
And down the sleeves. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can talk about it.
Oh, well, I don't know much about it.
Well, it just has this lace work down the sleeves, which is really beautiful. And this little tiny triangle of lace work.
It looks like maybe it has a faux seam down the side and underneath the arm.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So raglan. Pretty shoulder.
Really lovely.
Yeah. I was going to tell you that the Yuma means moon. Yuma means moon in Japanese.
Oh, really?
I believe. Yeah.
Interesting.
So
nice.
Yeah, I wonder how she comes up with her names.
Yeah. So that's it. So we shared our favorite things, and at this point, we're basically done, right? So thank you so much for watching. Do you want to say anything about memberships? How do they join?
Oh, there should be a little join button. The big mystery of YouTube. So if you're not a member, I think even if you are a member, the little join button is still there, and you just press on that. It doesn't mean that you've joined, so you still have time to make that decision. But there's a little video from us that talks about memberships. Yeah.
And then you can decide. But if you decide not to join, once again, nothing will change. The channel's going to stay exactly the same.
Yeah.
Also, isn't there some confusion like on mobile apps? On the mobile app, you there's no join button?
Right.
So only on a laptop or something like that. Anyway, no big deal. But
we really appreciate the support, though.
Yes, definitely. We're surprised. I think I said earlier we have 15 members. Yay!
We thought we'd just turn it on and see what happened, right?
Exactly.
And it's fun for us to kind of create some extra content that's just us chatting or some behind the scenes stuff and
and so please subscribe. We have, as of right now, 8,600 subscribers,
which is amazing. And
so amazing.
A little over 6 months.
And keep commenting. We love the comments.
We read all of them,
and we do really take them into consideration.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for taking the time. I mean, some people write a lot, and it's really nice. It's really nice to hear from you. We feel like we're getting to know you now. But I guess that's it. So by the time this airs, we will have already had our live cast-on party. Hopefully you joined us and you cast it on. If not, we are going to, as we mentioned earlier, premiere it. We're not really sure when yet. We'll know by then. And we'll obviously post on social media and everything. So we're going to have a premiere of that video recorded. So we won't be live except in the chat.
Right. We'll be watching it.
And
live.
I'm not sure if it will be premiered on mYak's channel or our channel, but we'll figure all the details out. But anyway, thank you again and again and again for watching. Can you believe this is episode 7? Crazy. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, stranger.
I know.
I know. Gosh, I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. Okay, it's so warm in here. My brain is melting.
Jonna said nipples in our last video.
In the members only. In the members only video. And
I was like, did you really just say nipples?
Well, we all have them.
We do.
Even the boys. We're gonna have to bring in like a swamp fan in August. Like our hair will be blowing in the
Just how many days
Wouldn't that be awesome? We're really wind blowing.
riding the
I would love that.
Yes.